Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Muriel and in this video I will be doing a tier list ranking all of the fiction I read in the first half of 2023. So first we have Ian McEwan's Atonement, which I reread at the beginning of the year, and it was a positive reread. I didn't like it quite as much as I did when I first read it 10 or so years ago, but it had good character work, it had a very moving story, and a very good thematic execution of its title, basically. It really is about atonement. So yes, a book I would definitely recommend, and I would also recommend the movie adaptation as an FYI, and this will very straightforwardly go into B tier. Then there is Sally Rooney's Beautiful World, Where Are You?, which I enjoyed. I mean, I didn't like that one as much as I did Normal People, but it still spoke to me. So I guess this one is technically a soft B, so that's where I'm going to plonk it for now. The Behind Atonement. Though, actually, I might need to revise this towards the end of the video. Look who it is again! It's the Book of the New Sun, written by Gene Wolfe, for which I did my first and so far only rant review of the year. Yeah, it was not for me. Nope. I didn't like the world building. Well, I mean, the world building was fine, I guess, but it was too opaque. The theming was like, whatever. I hated Severian, I hated the hashtag men writing women shtick, and I found the whole of it, in the end, rather pointless, which just aggravated the crap out of me. I should have DNF'd this series, I was not rewarded for plodding on through, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to plonk this one in D tier. Like, just sue me, I guess, but that's just how it has to be. And then we come to Children of Memory. Probably my biggest disappointment of the year so far, because I adore Children of Time. I really enjoyed Children of Ruin. Like, that's just top tier science fiction. And I'm sorry, but book 3 just, no. It didn't live up to even Children of Ruin, and it was just like, what the hell is this? And, well, I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry, but like, there were serious issues with the plot, and the theming itself kind of went in a too convoluted and pseudo-intellectual direction that just, I couldn't. So this one can't go in anything above C tier, I'm afraid, and I'm really sad about that, because like, it has super evolved Corvids, and they were shite. And there's the other Sally Rooney novel I read this year, Conversations with Friends, which, yes, I enjoyed. How am I a fan, or I mean a light fan of Sally Rooney's writing? It really beats me, but fine. This was also just B tier worthy. I think I preferred it to Beautiful World, Where Are You? So yes, but I might have to put these ahead of Atonement. We'll see about that later. Then there is Feral Creatures! Yay! The sequel to my beloved Hollow Kingdom, written by Kira Jane Buxton. I didn't like Feral Creatures as much as Hollow Kingdom, but it is a very, very, very freaking good sequel. I felt all the feels, the theming wasn't quite as perfect as I found it in Hollow Kingdom, but just near enough to it, so this is just straight up S tier, alright? So yes. Because, I'm sorry, but Chroming characters, all day, every day, ST is the GOAT, and that's that. Then there is Sherry S. Tapper's The Gatorwoman's Country, another one of this year's planned rereads. And this reread went very freaking well, actually. I think I might have enjoyed this one slightly more than I did the first time I read it in 2017. There is a review for that one on the channel if you want to check that out, because this is just proper ideas-driven, feminist science fiction, or SFF more broadly, and it's just, yes. I will be here for it all day, every day, and this was a solid 8.5 out of 10, so this is going to be an A tier book, really. The Gormenghast trilogy, written by Mervyn Peake. I wanted this one to be a new favorite. It's not. However, I still enjoyed reading it overall. I didn't really like the third book in the trilogy. I'm counting the trilogy as a literary whole, as I tend to do. So I didn't really like book 3, but there are mitigating circumstances to my negative appreciation of it. And with Titus Groan and Gormenghast, there is something there, but it's mostly about vibes and atmosphere and just wacky characters. But I also also need more in terms of world building and theming. I just didn't get that with this trilogy. So mixed bag, but a more positive than not mixed bag overall for me. So this is going to go in B tier as well. Oh, and then there's Ice Planet Barbarians, written by Ruby Dixon. Holy shit, I actually read that. This was entirely a meme read, and I did a meme review for it. You're free to check out if you want. I did have fun doing that, to be honest. I had fun reading this, though. That's the thing. It was a meme read, but it was an effective meme read that is smart. I mean, it's very self-aware that it's memey, I think, but it's also very much smart. I can't in all good conscience put it in B tier. I just can't. But it was solid fun. So it's gonna go in C, but it's a very high C. It's spiritually a B. But it's a C. Holy shit. I'm making it way too complicated, but like, okay, I'll leave it in C, but oh, wow. Yeah, I have to put it ahead of Children of Memory, if only because I just had a fun time with Ice Planet Barbarians, but it hurts in a way too, because it shouldn't be this way, really. And then we have another book I reread this year, Jane Eyre, written by Charlotte Bronte, and this was another very positive reread overall. I reviewed this one for the channel as well. It's probably, yes, one of, if not my favorite classic of English literature to date, and I enjoyed following Jane Eyre on her journey. I enjoyed the love story, and I enjoyed the subtle, one can interpret as such today, neurodivergent representation, but I mean, it's not intended representation, we're all clear about that, right? It's just you can kind of read Jane Eyre that way in another character. And because it is a soft general fiction favorite, it's a soft A. So in A it goes, but yeah, behind the Gate to Women's Country though. And then there's the Kaiju Preservation Society, and wow did I have fun with that one. And I don't tend to read books like that don't have all that much to offer in terms of theming or deeper world building, but there was so much playful nerdiness. There were SFF nerd culture references, silly SFF humor. It was a vibe, and yeah, I love this. And I mean kaiju. So based on that, this is a bit difficult, because it's like, it felt in a way like an A, but it's more of a B. So I guess I'll put it in the lead of B tier for now. Then there is Lord Dunsany's The King of Elfland's Daughter, which I read because Lord Dunsany was one of H.P. Lovecraft's influences. And it was interesting, quite different, I guess, for something written in the 1920s. I liked it well enough, but it was also kind of boring, if I'm being perfectly honest. So this is also kind of a borderline book between C and B. I guess for now I'll put it in C, in the lead of C, I guess. Sure. Then there is The Magician King, written by Lev Grossman, the second book in his The Magicians trilogy. The first one, The Magicians, is an all-time fantasy favorite of mine, and I loved book 2, primarily because Julia. I love Julia, hashtag Julia's awesome, hashtag justice for Julia, but I can't elaborate without spoiling. But that is the reason why it wasn't as good as the first book, because something just not okay happens. So it took a solid point away from my rating, but it was still just, I love that universe, and I love the characters and their nerdy, neurodivergent, weirdness, and the exploration of mental illness and difference and finding one's, well, found family, etc., etc. So despite the fact it had an element that was really not okay, this is still technically an A tier book. So, I don't know, I guess, but yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. We come to Neuromancer, the last book I read in the first half of 2023. It was fine. I acknowledge its place in the history of science fiction and the cyberpunk subgenre. It was just not really my thing. I didn't think there was all that much in terms of theming the characters or whatever. There were a couple of bits of hashtag men writing women, just smidge. The world building was neat, I guess. I mean, it was engaging enough, even though I'm not specifically gaga about cyberpunk. So this is also C tier worthy. But where though? Well, Corvids, even though they, I don't know, because they were shite, which is very offensive to me, but they're still Corvids. So de facto, that puts it above Neuromancer, I guess. That's how I'm reasoning it. Then there is Nicola Griffith's Spear. This is a novella, and it is a retelling of the Percival motif within the broader Arthurian mythos, which I love, and this is a proper mythological retelling with context and period-appropriate naming, vocabulary, historical references. You love to see it. I love to see it. That being said, there wasn't all that much once again in terms of deeper theming, but there was nice LGBT representation seamlessly woven into that story, so point there. Yeah, I had a good time with it, but nothing extraordinary either. Still a solid B tier. I'll plonk it there for now. Then there's Aaliyah Whiteley's The Beauty. Okay, technically there was a second short story in that bind-up called Peace Pipe. I was mostly interested in The Beauty, so I'm only really considering that one here. But I mean, regardless, Peace Pipe wasn't that amazing either. I mean, it wasn't amazing at all. And The Beauty wasn't really that good. The premise was neat. Shroom zombies kind of in women, and it makes mushroom women. So that could have gone into super interesting and engaging directions, but it was just a bit too weird in the wrong way. So that is sad, cause like, fungal shenanigans. I love that shit, but here the execution was just not up to my personal taste standards, what have you. So yeah, this is also going into C tier. Honestly, these two kind of sit on the same level, but this one at least has, you know, the merit of having defined the cyberpunk genre, so that kind of gives it a theoretical point above The Beauty. Yes, and I also read The Cleaving, written by Juliet McKenna. This aims to be, once again, an Arthurian mythos retelling, a female-centric one and a feminist one. It just isn't, and I can't really recommend it to anyone but uber noobs and newcomers to the Arthurian mythos and those kinds of retellings. It wasn't that good. So this is also going into C tier. Oh, I feel bad because this was an arc, but like, yeah, C tier. And I'm gonna put it at the bottom, honestly, because at least this had the neat idea of weird shroom women. The execution was poor, but still point for the idea and for, well, fungal shenanigans. And there's The Enchanted, written by Renee Denfeld. This is a new, soft, general fiction favorite of mine. I read this year. It was recommended by a friend. It just made me think. It made me feel really deeply. It deals with death row and justice and the cycle of abuse and trauma and violence and how we deal with that in society and through the carceral justice system, etc. I highly recommend this one, and I have a dedicated book review for it as well if you're interested. Again, it kind of sits between B and A, but overall I guess it is more an A, a soft A, than a B, so that's where I'm going to put it. It honestly sits on the same level as Jane Eyre. Then there's China Miéville's short story collection, 3 Moments of an Explosion. Is China Miéville. He is one of my 3 all-time favorite authors. I love this stuff. There was some really freaking good short stories in there, especially in the horror subgenre. There was a lot of weirdness because weird fiction. Not all that much there thematically overall, but just these beautiful, brilliant bits of world building. Love that shit. I had a very good time with this, right? But not the best I've read by China Miéville. So it's going into B tier, but top of B, most definitely. Down to the final 3, we have What Moves the Dead, written by T. Kingfisher, my very first T. Kingfisher piece of writing. It's a novella. I thoroughly enjoyed it because Origin Saint with me, fungal shenanigans. Good fungal shenanigans, or I mean effective fungal shenanigans, in the form of The Fall of the House of Usher retelling. Yeah, it was very enjoyable, effective horror, and this is also going to go in B tier, just like Spear. I rated these the same, and this is actually hard, because on the one hand, Arthurian mythos, love that shit, but on the other, fungal shenanigans, love that shit. I guess maybe I'm going to give pride of place to the shrooms, because of the horror aspect and the very well executed retelling aspect. Well, actually, the other one was a good retelling too, shit. Still, okay, just slight preference to the shrooms. Then there is Marge Piercy's Woman on the Edge of Time, which I reread in June. Also did a dedicated book review for that one, and it was also a very positive rereading experience for me. Another proper piece of ideas-driven, slightly less feminist, but still feminist SFF fiction. I did prefer, and I do prefer now, The Gate to Women's Country, but this is still very good. I guess technically it's also very high B to low A. I'm tempted to put it in B for now, but I'll revisit all of this in a few minutes. And finally, we have Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. Another one of my planned rereads for 2023, but this reread did not go well. I wasn't a fan of it the first time I read it, but goddamn, Heathcliff is a sociopath and all the characters in this bloody thing are horrible people, with maybe one or two exceptions, but still, blech. So much freaking drama. I don't love to see it at all, but Heathcliff is just hot garbage. His romance with Catherine is hot garbage, and beyond that, thematically, what? A bit of class-based analysis, I guess. The cycle of trauma, I guess. Bruh, I read The Enchanted, it does that 1,000 times better, so get the fuck out. Still, not as bad as the book that you said, but it's definitely going into C tier. Just, again, sue me. I guess, marginally better than The Cleaving insofar as it does portray passion in the destructive sense, accurately, kind of. So sure, I'll put it above The Cleaving, but not even above Shroom Women, you know? Right! Only one item in S tier, but such a good one though. A few books in A tier though, that's good. Yeah, this definitely goes at the top of A tier. Like I said, these two are on the same level with an A tier, that's good. I'm tempted to put this one in A tier, if only because it's just a beautiful example of just proper, brainy, feminist SFF fiction. Okay, you know what? Screw it, I'll do it. There you go. This I'm happy with. China Miéville obviously has to lead the pack because it's China Miéville. This, hell yes, I have to do it. Okay, this shit just gets me in the feels for whatever bloody reason. Though Convos with Friends is ahead of Beautiful World, Where Are You? Should I put this one behind Atonement? No. Yes. Yes. Again, point goes to Shrooms with this one. So that's good. How about C tier? Yeah, honestly, these two are on the same level within C tier. No, you know what? Sorry, I have to do it. Like this. Ikasumi, I had fun with that one. I'm prioritizing just feels and fun and stuff like that in these tier lists, so yes, congratulations, Ice Planet Barbarians. This is right. I'm still quite salty about this. Yeah, that's right. Shrooms, and this shit, and then you. Yes, you, Book of the New Sun. All by your lonesome, in D tier. So yeah, there's a bit of mirroring going on there apparently. One in S tier, one in D tier. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And it's not too bad, I guess, with this. You know, a bunch of stuff in B tier, a decent amount of stuff in A tier. I'm not going to complain, and we'll see what the second half of 2023 brings. But that's all for this tier list of all the fiction I read in the first half of the year. And on that final note, I hope you all have a lovely day, evening, or whichever time of day you prefer. Do take good care of yourselves. Thank you for the continued support. If you want to share thoughts about the ranking or share your own, you're more than free to do so, of course. And I will see you all in the next video. But until then, bye-bye.